are off. Flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Pitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cat, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through the curtain, dancing on breeze. Freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight. Can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remote's a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 75. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. Below, we fly that flow. Below, grab that gap. No time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll. Funk and control. Funk and control. Bounce that wall. Bounce that all. We fly it all. Funk it all. We fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze. Freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
Greetings, cretins! My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the show. It is Sunday Q&A. We're going to be doing a giveaway in an hour. 4 o'clock Eastern Time. It is 3 o'clock Eastern Time right now. You were just watching the fancy-looking new setup on the Max Frames M2. That's right. I've switched it over to Violet SainSmart TPU. I've been wanting to move this over to the Violet TPU because it's just my favorite color of any of the TPUs, and I used a new antenna as the excuse. As I always tell you guys, the M2 anything like an M2 or an M3 screw is going into is not going to last super long. If you're cranking down one of these M2 screws into one of these aluminum standoffs 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times every single time you take this thing apart, stuff's going to start to strip. The stator bases on the motors, they're going to strip out eventually. So wait, like if you want to change your TPU color, wait until you have to change something else. Do 2 things at once. Do 3 things at once. And it's going to make a huge difference. If you do 2 things at once every time, you're going to cut down the amount of wear and tear by half as much, right? So wait. So yeah, that was this CP antenna from TrueRC. This singularity was my excuse to pull this thing apart and swap the colors on the TPU. Max Frame's TPU is really nice, very well designed. He's got a new CO3 camera cage up here, which is pretty awesome. And then the little singularity holder is super nice. So this is final form. This is done. This will get motors replaced when they get banged up. This will get props replaced when they get banged up. But that's it. This is the way that this thing is going to live, which is rare for me. It's rare for anything to achieve final form. I feel like I'm absolutely always changing everything all the time, forever. So yeah, now I just enjoy flying it, and it is very enjoyable. I really dig flying this thing. The 2-inch baby turtle with 04 light. Sure, the video that comes out of that is way better than analog, but it's not as fun to fly. Analog is cheaper, and it's lighter, and it's less latency. And that makes it more fun to fly. So, yeah, as cool as it is to get 4K footage out of a 2-inch rig that's, like, silent and safe and all that, for pure piloting enjoyment, these analog open prop 2-inch, 2.5-inch setups are just wild, man. And so, you know, ask yourself, what am I doing with this footage? Like, are you just showing this footage to, like, your friends and family and that's it? Who cares if it's HD, right? There's, like, analog is just, it gets such a bad rap, but, like, although I think that's maybe changing. I think more and more people are kind of coming around to analog. Maybe just because we can't get the digital stuff. But still, like, you know, in terms of just us going out and flying and enjoying ourselves, why do we need to see where we're going? We can kind of see where we're going with analog, you know, kind of, sometimes. And look, it's sort of part of the challenge, you know? Part of the challenge of FPV is seeing where you're going. It's always been like that, and it should always be like that. I feel like this new crop of FPV folks who have who dove straight into digital and are used to seeing where they're going are very spoiled. And now that they can't get DJI stuff, they're and they're trying out analog for the first time, and or just looking for a pair of analog goggles to buy, which is practically impossible, it feels like. Goddamn Nils Vo showing us that all the analog goggles are garbage. What a jerk. Thank God for him. Thank God for that man. Save what's the meme thing? Save, pray for, I don't know. Nils Vo is doing God's work, figuring out that a bunch of our current, like, it feels like the majority of the analog goggles that you can buy new right now, other than the HD Zeros, have massive amounts of latency. Luckily, there are quite a few Fat Shark HD3s, HDOs, HDO2s on the used market that we can snag, but it's not like an infinite number, you know? And like the HDs, obviously the HD Zero goggles are awesome, but boy, are they expensive, and apparently they're not like in stock ready to ship out right now. You got to wait a little bit for them. So yeah, just the never-ending problem of FPV where nothing is in stock ever. Headphone people ready to die? Are you ready? Here you go. I give you a warning. I have to hit something with a hammer. There we go. I hit Sometimes when the little nylock pops up and out of these nuts, just hit the nut with a hammer, and you can smash it right back in. And then all's right with the world again. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the deal, friends. That's what I got for you. What am I saying? In the chat, who's in the chat? What are you guys doing? Sporty was first, bad at drones, Fizz, licensed to drive, Doc Holliday for the win, Nathan Wells, Matthew Wegner, Uriel, Spaceman Spiff, McMucus, B-Bird, level up for the win again. Zach is doomed by the bell. Tanky, Dagul, Dylan Moe, unanticipated Bill, Uriel, Hendrix Freakazoid, Frank Dr. Nicholas, Burlack. If you want the gangly man to say your name, gotta get here early. Say hello, or just ask me a question, or just type CiottiFPV. Say my name, bitch. My buddy Brad sent a box of with many goodies for upcoming giveaways. So 2026 giveaways are going to be loaded. Shout out to everybody that sends stuff over for the giveaways. Frank the Dr. Nicholas sent over a box probably like a year and a half ago that I'm still working my way through. It is incredibly appreciated that some of you are so lazy to not want to sell your stuff on Facebook Marketplace that you're willing to send it over here for me to put into the giveaways. It's a beautiful mix of laziness and charity, and I'm all for it. For the win, tagged me and said, shout out from Florida. We're out in Florida. Uriel says, I think the biggest thing with digital is of or on analog. You sense you got less RSSI, digital no. Yeah, absolutely, Uriel. Absolutely. Like, folks that start with analog are actually at an advantage because analog 60 times a second in the goggles with what you're staring at tells you how strong or how weak the 5.8 signal is. And the 2.4 ELRS signal, sure, it's stronger than the 5.8 signal because it's carrying less data, and mainly because it's carrying less data. But when you learn with analog, you learn how RF works. You learn when RF will penetrate through a substance, that's what she said, and you learn when it will bounce off of something, and you learn like where you can and can't go. Every single time you go fly, you get an idea of how deep in a building you can go, or how far out in a field you can go. Can you go behind that little shed at the other side of the field? Can you go 20 trees deep versus 15 trees deep? And it really trains you every millisecond that you're flying, well, every 60th of a second that you're flying, on how RF works. And so when you get started in FPV with digital, you don't get that advantage because the digital connection cleans itself up so nice. At the absolute bitter edge of range, absolutely, you'll watch the megabits drop, you'll start to get blockiness, you'll start to lose frames, but boy, that happens like deep into the signal getting pretty shitty. With analog, like you see it right away. You turn that first corner and lose line of sight, and there's some kind of garbage. You go from like perfectly clear to some kind of garbage. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, analog for life. As always, yo. It's cheap, it's durable, it's incredibly low latency, right? Like, the video quality blows goats, but, you know, unless you have proof, does it really? Chef Bruno says, I figure if I get good at analog, then I'll be great if I ever go digital. There you go, man. That's it. For the win says Southwest Florida, just south of Sarasota. Very cool. All right. So, let me do a little bit of I'll do a little soldering tutorial for you guys. I got some stuff over here that hey, look, Tiny Whoop has BT 2.0 dischargers. Did you know that? That's what they look like. I have this one. Well, they come with PH 2.0, but you can pretty easily adapt them over to BT 2.0, or you can just use one of these little adapter wire things. And you've got a little 1S discharger. The Whoopster and the Toothster also do it, so, you know. It's not a huge deal, but it is really nice. It is really nice to have an itty-bitty little discharger. Right now, I'm using one. Here's a quick and dirty soldering tutorial for you. If you're having any trouble soldering, or if you're just getting started into FPV, this will help you out quite a bit. Get yourself some flux paste in a syringe. You can get these from eBay. Just type in flux paste syringe and get you some. The brand doesn't matter that much. If you can get MG Chemicals, get that. Their stuff is great. For your solder, get MG Chemicals as well. They make arguably the best solder. Kester also makes good solder, but MG Chemicals solder is awesome. Jesus Christ, what is it? 6337. Get 6337 solder. Don't worry too much about the thickness or whatever. Just get MG Chemicals, and you'll be golden. Get yourself a magnified headset so that you can see what the hell you're doing. This will make the biggest difference in the quality of your soldering, and it is absolutely worth it. By the way, if you guys want to see me review the HD0 Gamma 45 amp, it's the AIO that I would like to put into my frame with 04 Pro. So yeah, we got a little fun going. Soldering iron, I like to run it at 700 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in non-cheeseburger units, but yeah, Google will tell you if you're curious. I'm going to desolder some of this stuff here. I'm going to desolder these motors to remove them. I have already put little blobs of flux paste on each one of these pads with the syringe. You just doop, 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 just a little bit, and you're good to go. Because it's paste, it's going to stay where you put it. When you remove your soldering iron from the stand, this is when you clean it. When you're done soldering, you put it into the stand dirty. The solder residue on the tip will keep the tip from oxidizing. The biggest problem with heat transfer in soldering, if your joint is not melting, it is because the tip of the soldering iron is oxidized. It oxidizes the second that you stop cleaning it. So as soon as I pull this out of here, it will start to oxidize. So clean the tip when you pull it out of the soldering station, and then move straight over to your work. Get the work done, put it back into the soldering station. I'm going to hold this part of my hand here flat to the desk so that I can hold this soldering iron as flat as possible to get the biggest contact patch that I can. Take the flat part of the chisel tip soldering iron, hit this. The smoke is the flux doing its job. When the smoke stops, all the flux has burned off. That's not necessarily a good thing. Let's keep it going here. With an ESC, you're dumping heat into the ESC itself. The first pad will take longer. The second pad will take a little bit less time, and less and less and less. But you don't want to get the ESC too hot. So what I like to do is one side at a time, and then maybe the battery leads. But I won't do both sides and the battery leads all at once. Be very careful when you're removing wires like this. This is when they love to throw solder balls. I'm on the ground pad now. It's always going to take a little bit longer because the ground pad is jacked into the ground plane. There is one big layer of ground material going through every single circuit board. There we go. And we're just keeping the heat going into this thing, trying to get as much done as we can. And that is about as much heat as I want to put into here. Now we're going to give it a chance to calm down. Actually, let me just, not calm down, cool down. Getting the joint hot and then flicking off to the side, as you could hopefully see, brought a bunch of solder with it. This mat that I'm working on is a silicone mat. Did you guys just see that? Solder travels towards the heat. There was a bunch of bits of solder on the silicone mat. And so I just took the blob of solder that was on the tip of the iron, and I just picked them all up. Because again, solder travels towards the heat. I can do it again right here. There we go. Pick up that big blob of solder on the tip, be really careful. Put it back in the stand, dirty. This ESC is now hot, but it's looking really nice. Because I used a bunch of flux on all of these pads, everything is nice and smooth and shiny. All of these pads are very shiny and very smooth. Shiny as in they're clean, smooth and round as in there was good heat transfer. You don't want rough edges and craggy shit. That is bad. This is an old Acon 35 amp, which is indestructible, but unfortunately unupdatable now that BL-Heli 32, well, I mean, BL-Heli 32 went away a long time ago. The fact that nobody has figured out how to update all these BL-Heli 32s out in the world is maddening. Boy, I just scratched the living shit out of my nose. That hurt. Let's see if I can get this to focus again. There we go. Cool. So there we go. There's a super quick and dirty soldering tutorial. Yes, I was just removing these wires, but a lot of the fundamentals are the same. These motors, these FPV Cycle Pancake 2203 2800 kV motors will be for sale on the old Etsy store at some point here. I'm just going to take these wire ends and flatten them out a little bit. Yeah, I'll do that another time. That's fine. Right. So yeah, there you go. Anybody struggling at soldering, put any questions that you've got in the chat. Ooh, let's do this guy as well. Let's do this guy real quick. So here's the full cycle. You are going to blop a little bit of flux on each one of the pads. You're going to give your soldering iron a second to heat up. This one's already heated up. Take it out of the stand, clean it. And now you're going to come to the pads. I'm going to use my middle finger to hold this receiver down. I'm going to use these two fingers to pull on the wire. So I'm going to go onto the pad, heat the pad up, big burst of smoke as the flux burns off. Remove the wire, get it out of the way. Next one, hit it, remove it, out of the way. The silicone work mat is nice and grippy, and it makes it really easy to do this stuff one-handed. The Omni Fixo is amazing, and I absolutely love this thing, but a lot of times you can do the work right here on the surface, and you don't have to spend any of the time associated with getting the Omni Fixo out, clamping it down, all that jazz. Are you going to get better quality results using the Omni Fixo? Absolutely. But sometimes it's about speed rather than pleasure. Whenever there's through holes, I like to go on the opposite side and just kind of pull some of the solder through with the heat. It would be even better to do this. I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to put just a little bit of flux on the bottom of each one of these pads. This way you're dragging the solder through, and the solder is going to form like a little... how can I explain this? So, the through holes... Alright, we're good to go now. The through hole has on either side, it has a lip of the contact of the pad, and that's on both sides. So if you just put solder on one side of that through hole, it'll seep down, but it won't go almost like an hourglass shape. It won't go to the other side. It won't cover up that little lip on the bottom. And so if you do that, if you get the solder to go all the way out and around, and then you have it up on the top, the solder is like an hourglass kind of shape. And that's very strong. And then so you put your wire in through there, and the solder can't possibly like pop out of there, right? If you just have like a round ball of solder with the lip on top, it could technically like come up and out. It would only happen if it got really, really hot. It's probably not going to happen, but it's just a quick little thing that I like to do, is just go on the opposite side of the through pads and make sure that I can't see any of the gold. Cool, fun. Soldering should be fun, friends. It shouldn't be a nightmare. Let me do one more. I'll do this later. I assume this is a 5.8 antenna. If you have any of these short 5.8 gig antennas, throw these away. These are junk. I'm sorry, not 5.8, 900. If you have any of these short 900 antennas, they are almost all bad. 900 megahertz, you got to run the big antenna. The little short, basically 900 megahertz is a very long wavelength, and when you make a short antenna for a long wavelength, if you were to make a full wave 900 megahertz antenna, it would be massively long. The normal Immortal T 900 megahertz antennas that we see, you know what I'm saying, they're about this long, right? Immortal T, you've seen it a million times. Crossfire Immortal T antenna, right about this long. That's not full wavelength. That's like quarter wave or third wave or fifth wave. When you continue to shorten up, the way that you shorten an antenna is you go from full wave to half wave. If the full wave active element is like this for 900, half wave is like this, quarter wave is like that, right? And when you do that, when you shorten it, you have to stay in those ratios. As those ratios tighten up, the antennas work worse and worse and worse and worse. So full wave works the best, half wave works the second best, fourth wave works the third best. That little tiny short 900 megahertz crossfire antenna is like sixth wave or 1/7 or 1/8, and they don't work very well. So yeah, if you have to use it, use it. This is one of the things that's great about ELRS. ELRS is 2.4 gigahertz. 2.4 gigahertz is if you were to do a full wave antenna for 2.4, it would be much shorter than 900. And so with 2.4, you can make these itty bitty antennas that are still tuned really well and work really well. On Crossfire being 900 or ELRS 900, it's more difficult. You kind of have to run that longer antenna for it to be tuned well enough to work good. Man, it feels like my nose is bleeding. I scratched it so bad. Jesus Christ. Moton says, I just found out my order from Beta FPV has been allegedly seized due to counterfeit postage by the USPS. Anyone else have anything like this happen? USPS says China is doing this a lot. I've never heard of that. That's maddening. Yes, Uriel says get leaded solder. I forgot about that. Yeah, make sure that you get leaded solder. Do not get unleaded solder unless you're going to start soldering for a living. If you're going to be huffing soldering fumes all day, every day, get unleaded solder. But for us, you know, they're not doing... I mean, I build a lot of stuff, and I'm still fine. Your best bet is to get a soldering fumes extractor, just a little fan, just to get some air moving. But, like, the amount of time that we spend soldering, it's fine to use leaded solder. Yeah. Ever wonder why when you get a component, the solder on it is really hard to work with? It's because it's non-leaded solder, and that shit sucks to work with. Mix some leaded solder with it, and it'll get a lot easier to work with. Levster says, hey. He also says, I realize the Matrix V2 board can't handle high PIDs as good as the V1, and it makes sense. The gyro is on the side where there's no post, so that part has much more vibration. Yeah, the new Matrix, the new Beta FPV Matrix AIO, I do think it is potentially the best Tiny Whoop AIO that we've ever gotten. Um, is it more durable than the 2G4? Only time will tell. But it's got black box and it's got 12 amp FETs, and those two things are a big deal. Um, it also doesn't have a ceramic tower antenna, and so yeah, I do think that the new Matrix is the way to go in terms of a Tiny Whoop AIO. But if you're obsessed with getting the absolute most dialed in tune possible, the 2G4 is actually a better option. But the problem is the 2G4 doesn't have black box, so how the hell are you gonna know? So yeah, the new Matrix AIO, I think that it is clean. For me at least, it is clean enough where you can get a great tune on it, no prop wash, and it's durable. Black box, 12 amp FETs, motor plugs, wire antenna, a lot of things to love about it. But when you remove that front mounting post, the AIO is going to have more freedom to move around. And so, yeah, absolutely. An AIO that only has three mounting points is never going to give quite as clean of a signal as one that has four. Problem is, the AIOs that have all four mounting posts take a lot of abuse. Every time that we crash, we bend the frame, and the frame is supported by the AIO. And so you can either have an AIO like the 2G4 that's big and thick and strong and heavy, heavy enough to withstand that abuse, but eventually it is going to break, right? Even it is taking that bending force every time you crash. It takes a long time for the 2G4s to break, but they will absolutely eventually break. Versus the new Matrix AIO, which is lighter. It doesn't have that front post, which is going to help with durability, but doesn't help with vibrations. So yeah, I think that Beta FPV has found the right balance, right? That's what we're always looking for, and that changes. That balance is different for everyone. For one person, the 2G4 is the perfect AIO. For somebody else, the Matrix is the perfect AIO. What I consider my job to be is educate you on these things so that you can make that decision up for yourself, right? What do you value more? Lightweight, durability, the cleanest possible gyro signal, right? As you figure out which one of those things mean the most to you, you can figure out which AIO is your best bet. The fact that we've got two AIOs that are this good is pretty fucking great. You know, the 2G4 is a known quantity. It's bomb proof. You don't have Betaflight, but it gets a really clean gyro signal, so you kind of don't need Betaflight. It's certainly a little bit heavier, and it's harder to get a hold of. The new Matrix has a bunch of advantages that we've talked about ad nauseum. So yeah, we're very lucky to have two different phenomenal AIOs for 1S indoor Tiny Whoops. Doc Holiday says, "Oh really? LOL." So she says, "Speed up, Scotty." Hex Smith says, "Are those short antennas tuned for some other frequency than 900?" It's hard to tell. That little antenna that I was just holding up was connected to a Crossfire receiver. So I'm assuming that it was tuned for 5.8. I could probably hold it. Well, let's see. I was about to say, I could probably hold it up next to a 2G4 antenna and tell you. Not a 2G4, a 2.4 antenna. So here is an ELRS 2.4 antenna. Here's the antenna that I pulled off of there that I suspect to be 900 megahertz. And it's kind of hard to tell, but it is longer. The blue antenna is longer, right? And so, yes, I'm 99% sure this is a 900 megahertz antenna. One of the very short 900 megahertz antennas that don't work all that well. And look, if you're going to run 900 megahertz, the only real reason to run that is for ultra long range. And so you should be using those big antennas. When Crossfire was when it was like FR Sky and Crossfire, and we wanted to build micros that had a better than FR Sky control link, okay, you know, mounting one of those giant antennas on something really, really small kind of sucked. And so we muddled through using these antennas. Now that we've got good 2.4 gig systems, ELRS namely, but technically also the Immersion RC one, which Ghost, God, I couldn't think of the name for a second there, and Tracer, yeah, most of us are on 2.4 at this point. If you're still stuck on Crossfire, yeah, okay, those little antennas, they do work. They don't work well. They probably work better than FR Sky. I will say that. But if possible, try to stay away from them. McShaky says 915 megahertz is 33 centimeters full wave. You can't have an antenna full wave or it's going to cancel out your signal. That's why antennas are always a fraction, like 5/8 wave or half wave antennas. I did not realize that. 33 centimeters doesn't sound too bad either. 33 centimeters, but you wouldn't want it to be 33. Are those Immortal T's half wave? Let's see. So 33 centimeters is like this. So 15, what's that? 16 and a half would be half wave. So 16 and a half is that. That looks like about a Immortal T, doesn't it? That's it. Yep, look at that. I didn't realize that. So yeah, the 900 the long 900 megahertz antennas are half wave. There you go. Good call, McShaky. Did you know? Be honest. Did you know that, or did you just Google it? Somebody remind me in 20 minutes, and we'll do a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway. Shout out to Tiny Whoop for throwing in an extra purple ORT Micro V to my one order with a stamp saying do a giveaway. And then shout out to Weebleed for sending over some extra propellers. These are the 1219 1.5 millimeter motor shaft antennas that I'm convinced will now allow you to make a good performing indestructible Tiny Whoop. There's also a little Anoyatron in here, a Weebleed Anoyatron. Also in here are some of the other 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, 1.2 inch propellers, the Biblades, the Gemfan 1210s. So yeah, all of the 1.2 inch diameter, 1.5 millimeter motor shaft propellers that are good, worth running. My favorite of the lightweight indestructible antennas and an Anoyatron. So we'll do a little giveaway in 20 minutes for that. I've got batteries that are charged up. I've got the Weebleed 340 milliamp batteries on the charger, all 4 of them. I want to cycle those batteries 2 or 3 more times so that they've been cycled the same number of times as the Lava V2 batteries. And then we're going to do a live stream this week comparing Lava V2 280s to the new Weebleed 340s to the Lava V2 320s. Cool, but I want to cycle these Lavas a couple more times cycle the Weebleeds a couple more times so that they're dead even with all the Lava batteries. So we're gonna fly 6 batteries today. You should join me. Fly 6 batteries a day. God damn it. I'm gonna fly a few batteries on this indestructible Whoop. I'm also going to put this guy up in the air. This is very, very similar. How similar is it, you might ask? It's not that similar. So this is basically the old school Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop formula. Cockroach 65 V3 frame, 0702, 32,500 kV motors, props, whatever. At the moment, 1219S, 1.5 millimeter motor shaft propellers, old school Mobula 6 ball sack canopy, Runcam Nano 3 camera, ORT Micro V antenna, 2G4 AIO. This is it. This is the OG formula. This formula has been around for like 3 years. We've been working on this forever. This is more of like the new school formula, same frame, 40,000 kV 0702 motors, which you can get with the 1.5mm motor shafts. This one does not have those motor shafts, which allows me to run the HQ ultralight propellers, which I like a little bit better than these 1219s, but they are more fragile. Or a T-Micro V antenna, same canopy, same camera. But the new Happy Model AIO. This is the Crazy G 473 AIO, which is direct solder. That makes this guy a little bit lighter. How much lighter is it? I forget. Let's weigh it. So the Indestructible Tiny Whoop with indestructibility typically comes a little bit more weight, right? The more durable stuff is typically a little bit heavier. The Indestructible Whoop is 18.7 grams dry. The more modern, still very tough Whoop is 17.6 grams. So we've saved a gram with the Crazy G 473 AIO itself being a little bit lighter weight. The motors are direct soldered. That's one of the things that makes it lighter weight. Same motor, slightly higher kV, but that doesn't make the motor weigh any different. These propellers are probably a little bit lighter, and the 1mm motor shaft is probably a little bit lighter than the 1.5. But to be honest, the majority of the weight savings here is the AIO itself. The more modern AIOs are lighter weight. Also, this Crazy G 473 AIO has a JST plug instead of a USB port. That also saves it a little bit of weight. So yeah, we'll get to see what 1 gram lighter does, different propellers, and 40,000 kV motors versus 32,500s. Yeah, we'll fly those after we do the giveaway. And again, you should join me. Fly your 6 batteries, my friends. CiottiFPV.com is my little website where you can go to support me. This is a totally crowdfunded thing. Without your support, I cannot do this. Join my Patreon. Change your bookmarks over to my affiliate links, because you have to hit affiliate links over and over and over and over and over again. 702s Metalcraft. These are all 702s. Book some one-on-one time with me through Fiverr. Buy something from my Etsy store. I'm adding stuff all the time to the Etsy store. I added probably like a dozen different things over the last week to there. So if you haven't been on there in a little bit, check it. There's some cool stuff. And it helps me a ton. Cool. That's how you support me, friends. If you have some gear that's stuck on ELRS 2.5, I have this module that's stuck on ELRS 2.5. If you're smarter than me, maybe you can figure out how to get it onto ELRS 3.0 and it'll work for everything, but I can't figure it out. I spent like 2 hours trying to get this off of ELRS 2.5, and I failed. It works totally fine on ELRS 2. Whatever. So if you want this, let me know. I'll sell it to you super cheap. I've still got this goddamn Caddx Baby Ratel 2 case here. One of you has to have a Caddx Baby Ratel 2 camera. For the love of God, let me send you this case. In case your case breaks, you'll have an extra one. I also have a Crazy G 473 AIO where the ELRS doesn't work, so you can solder up an external ELRS and it'll be totally fine. The AIO, the VTX works fine. Everything else about this works fine. And then I've got a Caddx Ant Light with a lens that has scratches on it. So if you want an extra Caddx Ant Light PCB that works totally fine, that you can swap a non-scratched lens onto, great. Or if you have an extra Caddx Ant Light lens, let me know. I'd love to trade you for it or buy it off of you to put it onto this thing to get it working again. There you go. There's a couple of things that are sitting here that I know there's the perfect home for them out there. We just have to find it. For the Win says, you got any recommendations on how to solder up a fix? I'm thinking just soldering wires would be easier for a broken JST USB connector on a Matrix 5-in-1 AIO, both V1 and V2. I assume it's the same. Oh man, that's hard to do. Soldering those JSTs that are surface mount sucks, because the left and right side of the JST have these ground pads, and that's like their structural support. And then the in your case, 4. What is it? 4 individual pins, I think. I think it's 4 individual pins on the board. They're just really, really small. I don't really have any tips. That is not something that's meant to be soldered with an iron. That's meant to be surface mount, which means that like you put solder on it and then you get that plug perfectly placed, and then you use a hot air station to blow hot air, which melts the solder and allows the plug to settle down on there. Yeah, that sucks. That's technically not fixable. You can try to get in there with the tip of the soldering iron, but it's going to be tough. Brandon's Baked Bean says you will first need to flash it to version 2.5.2, then flash it with the repartitioner binary file. Click flash anyway. Only then can you flash to 3 point something firmware via Wi-Fi. I did not know that. I don't really have a use for this module. I have an Aminmo module and the Nomad module. So if you have a use for a perfectly good ELRS module here, follow what Brandon just said, and you can get it on the 3 point whatever. I'm not going to do it for you. You got to do it, because I'm going to send this to you super cheap. So let me know. Cole FPV says, is that ELRS module the Beta FPV 2.4? I updated mine to 3 point something fairly recently. I'm a computer whisperer, and even I had a bit of trouble with it. It is indeed. It's the original Beta FPV. That's actually a prototype. That's a prototype that they sent me like super early days of ELRS that I've had forever, just kind of floating around. I don't need it anymore. The Naminmo and the Nomad are good to go. So I'm all set. I have my main and my backup. I'm good to go. Mick Shaky has been a ham radio operator for many years, and since we all are, wink wink, legally fly, we should all know the bands we get. In ham, you generally refer to the length of the frequency. That's cool, Mick Shaky. I didn't know that. That's rad that you just knew that offhand. I love it. Ham radio is a whole hobby in itself. It's kind of slick. 350, 10 more minutes and then we do this giveaway. Should we fly a battery while we're waiting? Nah, we'll wait for 3. Let's do another. Let me hit the, somebody asked me a soldering question that I can answer while I'm desoldering something real quick. How about that? Somebody asked a soldering question. Who is not a soldering genius quite yet and is willing to admit it? That's the big question, is who's willing to admit it. Oh, God. All right. Putting these motors in a little bag here. Well, now first, hold on. Let me just chop these wires so that we got some fresh wire going. All right. Soldering iron is warming up. License to Drive says solder sucker or solder wick. In my opinion, solder wick. The solder. If you're going to use a solder sucker, make sure you get one of the ones with a soft tip on it. The solder suckers that I've seen have ceramic tips, and that's great because that's non-conductive, but when you hit the button and that plunger moves, that ceramic tip is going to smash into your into the work that you're doing, and that can very easily knock a component out of position or off the board entirely. Solder wick will never do that. You put it flat against the pads, and there's no like moment of percussive maintenance, let's say. Solder wick can be a little bit frustrating to use at first until you realize that all you need to do is add a little bit of extra flux, or tin the tip of the soldering iron before you put it against the solder wick itself. So yeah, solder wick, in my opinion, and my father's opinion as well, who was an electrical technician for many, many years, that was his career. Yeah, he's who, early days I bought a solder sucker and I was having problems with it, and he was like, oh God, don't use that. And so, yeah, solder wick. In terms of what solder wick to get, you can just get like generic solder wick and then write John on it. Or if you want to get the good stuff, get Chemtronics. Chemtronics. Makes really, really good solder wick. But it's not as important to get good quality solder wick as it is to get good quality solder. That is much more important. So you can certainly just go on eBay, type in solder wick, and get whatever the cheapest. Or my favorite way of filtering on eBay is nearest. You can filter by nearest, and then you'll use as little gas as possible, getting the thing from wherever it's coming from back to you. And I like that. Actually, I'm not going to desolder this, because maybe this will go straight into a quad. This is wired up for the big... Nah, yeah, let's desolder this. So, flux first, find the pads, put a little blob on there. I'll just do that side first. Move the work to you. Don't leave it like this and rotate your hand around all insane. Move the work in a way that you can be comfortable when you're doing it. A pair of fine-tipped tweezers is also super valuable because these wires are itty-bitty. So before you bring the heat in, you get a grip on the wire. And that way, everything happens at once. You don't have to try to heat the pad up and then move the wire around. You want to put as little heat as possible into your electronics. And now this third wire might just pop off. Yeah, I was pulling on the other wires so that third wire was able to kind of come along with it. Come on with it. And then sometimes I like to just hit the pads one more time just to kind of smooth them out. Just be quick. Don't, again, you're trying to put as little heat into these pads as possible. Into the electronics as possible, I should say. And every time you bring your soldering down on a pad, you're putting heat into the electronics. 2 of these pads just bridged. Beautiful. So, when pads bridge together, one of the best ways to break that bridge, and the quickest ways, is just to heat it up and then pull outwards. Well, I kind of broke... I fixed it without even realizing that I fixed it, but you're going to have 2 pads that flow together at some point. There we go. See, those 2 pads are now bridged. I'm going to heat both pads up. So I'm going to put the soldering iron in between them, and then I'm going to flick outwards, and that's it. That breaks it. The reason why it breaks it is that solder travels towards the heat. So when I flick outwards, the solder travels towards the heat with the tip of the soldering iron, and it just wicks right off those 2 pads. And now you can go back on each individual pad and be careful this time to not heat the pad up next to it. And so there we go. Just making these pads look a little bit nicer. Let's clean off the tip. I'm picking up a whole bunch of solder here. This is... These 2 pads are connected because they're a jumper. And then sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times on these AIOs, especially if they have internal VTXs, there will be 2 pads next to, there'll be 3 pads next to each other. That's what's going on here. And they're marked 5 volt and then VBAT. And so if you bridge the 2 right pads together here, you're going to get VBAT on this VTX pad. If you bridge the middle pad with the 5 volt pad, you're going to get 5 volts on this VTX. That's a pretty common kind of thing. Yeah, this is a little CL Racing F7. Very cool. All right. There's a bunch of soldering tips that you didn't ask for or expect from this live stream. The Duke says, "Are you participating in iGal?" I am not. I can't do an edit without spending at least a couple hours on it, and doing that every single week for months and months and months. I just can't do it. I've tried in the past. I don't have the willpower to do something like that every single week. There's about 14 other edits that I need to do before, kind of messing around. It would be very fun, but it's just not in the cards right now. Some year, maybe I'll do it. But I don't know, it feels weird to do that kind of stuff as like somebody that does this for a living too. Like, I don't know, I feel weird entering competitions sometimes. I would rather, the hobbyists kind of enjoy that. It feels weirdly like cheating. I don't know. Not saying that I'm good. The people that do iGal, the people that finish in the top probably 50 in iGal are significantly better than me. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels odd. Denzel the Terrible says, the link said 69 watching, so I clicked. You ruined it! The Duke said, no, we got that. Bad at Drones says, solder suckers with the silicone tips are generally called engineer desolderers. That's very cool. I did not know that. Cole FPV says, how much do I have to inhale to get high? Also, solder or solder? If you're in Europe, solder. If you're a cheeseburger eater, solder. Solder. I used to, like, tongue-in-cheek pronounce it solder. And then a bunch of Europeans left comments saying that it's so unbelievably cringy to hear an American say solder. So I started saying solder because I know how that is. Like, to hear Europeans say hamburger and cheeseburger, I'm always like, oh, God, ew, ew. It's always kind of cringe to hear, you know what I mean? Like, somebody that, like, to hear certain words pronounced weirdly. And so, yeah. Solder it is. Get your solder! Get your solder! Solder! That's gonna wind up on the V3 sound pack for sure. Doc Holiday says, giveaway time, whoop whoop. Indeed. We'll do a little giveaway. You guys got to cover the shipping though. I can't afford to ship this to you. So it's $5 per ticket for the giveaway to cover the shipping. And also it helps me survive, to be totally honest. It's hard to do FPV as a full-time job. Shout out to Tiny Whoop for sending this over. This is a purple ORT Micro V in 60 millimeter length with a, I mean, they all have UFL, but yeah. Thank you, Jesse, for sending this over. Thank you, Weebleed, for sending over a bunch of extra 1219S tri-blades with the 1.5 millimeter motor shaft. There's probably 2 or 3 sets in here. There's also at least a set and a half of the other 1.5 millimeter motor shaft good propellers, which are the Gemfan 1210s. And then there is also a Weebleed Anoyatron in here, which is this silly little thing that you put a button battery in, and every like 10 seconds it goes Weebleed. And you can hit the button, you can change the how often it says that. There's a little on-off switch, and then yeah, you sneak this somewhere, and it until the battery runs dead says Weebleed every minute or every 30 seconds or every 10 seconds. Until someone loses their mind and finds you and beats you with a stick. Because that's what you deserve for annoying them. That's the giveaway, friends. Go over to CiottiFPV.com and hit the PayPal button, or you can do a super chat here. $5 per ticket. You can buy as many tickets as you want. Ready, go. Thank you for the reminder, friends. Hey, I'll also throw in a goggle lanyard. This goggle lanyard from Broken Prop Crew will also be thrown in there for you. What do you think of that? Hey, and a Micro King Home of the Whooper sticker as well. What do you think of that? This sells for $5. So, you know, if you were ever going to buy one of my stickers to support me, might as well get it on the giveaway. That's how it works, right? All right, let me get the FPV raffle thing up here. All right, there we go. There's the FPV raffle, refill, roofle. Let me get my email up to see any PayPals that pop in there. There we go. All right, cool. Uriel says, I lost my mobile potato patatra. Sada. If you're from Baltimore, then it's Sada. If you're from Philadelphia, it's solder. Like wooder. People from Philadelphia, my father included, and me sometimes, say the word water, W-A-T-E-R, as W-U-D-D-E-R. Wooder. We do. We actually do say wooder. Wood, W-O-O-D-E-R. Wooder. That's what we say. W-O-U-L-D-E-R. Woolder. Wooder. Wooder. Water. I haven't had to, but I've chosen to attempt, when I realized how insane water sounds to people outside of Philadelphia. This is probably like back in college. I grew up like an hour and a half from Philly. At some point in college, when there were people from not so close to Philadelphia, I taught myself to say water instead of wooder. Arthur Farrell says soapy wooder. My phone just went off, but my email is not going off yet. Come on now. Hey, there we go. Bry P with a $5 PayPal. He wants a chance at winning some stuff. I'm gonna put you on the thing here. All right, so there we go. Shipping is paid for. If nobody else enters, it's all yours, Bry. But we'll give folks another couple seconds. Danzilla Terrible says, like you're from Boston. B-A-W-S-T-O-N. Boston. 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 That's not how they say it, but it's funny seeing it spelled that way. Let's fly a quick battery in the Indestructible Whoop while you guys are fucking around, because I don't see any other ding-dongs come in, and, you know, I would like to think that there's more than one person interested in at least one of these things in the giveaway. Like the sticker. You jerks. This is the Indestructible Whoop, my friends. I plugged it in too early, and now it's going to take ELRS a while to go around the horn. Danzil the Terrible with a 20 Californian Canadian dollar ding-dong. And he is nominating other people to get them. The Duke, Doc Holliday, and Arthur Farrell. You've all been graced by the god of Danzil the Terrible to be entered into this giveaway. Congratulations. Thank you, Danzilla. Here we go. Indestructible Tiny Whoop living. Whoa! Oh! We're starting off. We're firing on all cylinders. Oh god! Woo! Whoop! Ah! Oh my god! We cleared the fan. Oh! Wow, that was not much of a crash. Oh, just missed the cube there. I didn't see Teddy while I was up there. Where's that little devil at? Oh, hey. I'm starting to get used to these 1219Ss. So these are the 0702 32,500s. Good power, right? Oh, God. They don't have nearly as much power as a lot of the recent crop of motors that's come out, but these have enough power. And the less power you have, the better throttle resolution you have. And so, in my opinion, you find the motors that have the least... Oh god! The least amount of power that you can stomach, basically. And then you have motors that have maximum throttle resolution for you. And better throttle resolution makes you fly better, because you can get closer to stuff without hitting it. Although, the newbie drone cube always gets hit. Uh-oh. There it is. Nope, didn't get it. Didn't get it pointed quite the right direction for that cube drop. Wait, that's not it. That's the one. No, no, no. No! Oh, I got very lucky. Oh, no. Oh. Hey! Uh-oh. I'm stuck to the LED light. Oh! Didn't think that one through. Oh, let's get that bar cart power loop going. Well, I got a lot of up tilt right now. Oy. Let me take some up tilt out real quick. This is a bit much. See how I can't see the ducts in the bottom of the frame at all? That means there's a little too much up tilt, in my opinion. That didn't come down very much, but I think it came down a little bit. Too much up tilt makes me fly really fast, and I still got a little bit too much up tilt. Oh my god, why is this so difficult? Why is it so difficult to do this bar cart power loop? Why you gotta be like that? I'm gonna have to take the walk. I can feel it. I can feel the walk of shame coming. Yeah, I'm wedged. I'm wedged between them bottles and the wall. Oh, shit! There's lots of stuff for the giveaway in the chat. Perfect. Yep. It was wedged against the wall. But look at that. Good run time. Good amount of RPM out of these motors. Happy days are here again. I mean, that's pretty low RPM right there, but previous disarms there were more. So that's a Weebleed 340 for you. They fly great. They fly really, really good. Let me see what this battery landed at. I didn't notice what the runtime was. You can rewind if you'd like. This battery is now at 3.7 volts, 3.69, right on the nose. So that's kind of where I like these batteries to be when I stop flying them. This way, I don't really need to storage charge them. If you land and your battery bounces, so here's the thing too, right? Like this is gonna go from 3.69 to 3.7 to 3.71 to 3.72 probably. They bounce back a little bit when you stop hammering on them. And so this battery is going to wind up probably at like 3.72 volts. That's close enough to 3.8 where this is considered like at storage voltage. That's going to make this battery last a long time. I could run this battery for another 30 or 45 seconds and then it would bounce back up to like 3.5 volts. Now I should storage charge it. I wouldn't. I would just leave it there and it would take damage over time. And so, yeah, this is why I like to basically, if I'm hovering, if I'm doing a dead hover and I'm at 3.5 volts, that's where I stop flying because that's what lets these batteries come up in voltage to 3.7-ish, and that makes these last a long time. So, yeah, do that, and your batteries will last a long time. The batteries don't last that long anyway, so on one hand, fuck it, run them into the ground and just replace them. But I've had batteries last over a year, and that's probably hundreds of cycles in that year. That's pretty good. That'll save you money. So do it, in my opinion. All right. Let's do the giveaway here now that we've got a bunch of people in here. Dagool with a $4.99 super chat. He's getting himself in here. Hold on. Go to this. And we're going to go Dagool. And then FizzPV says, how about me? You got it, my friend. FizzPV. Bad at drones as well. He says, 1 ticket for the person who can guess your dad's age. There we go. I have to look. I have to look that up. Jesus. He's so old that I lost count. All right. So, and now I have to do math. His math is easy to do though, so it's got it. All right. Ooh, somebody is really close. Nobody's gotten it exactly, but boy, somebody is very close, and it's impossible for me to have it be a surprise. And so I'm gonna give it to the person that's super close, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do this so that you can't see their name that I type in. All right, and then we've got Atreides. He says, "What are we giving away?" LOL. You'll see in a second if you win. Nobody's still got it. I've given it to the person that got super close. What is this weird character that's showing up? What is this little? What is this? What's happening in the chat? What am I seeing here? What is this? Why do so many people have this little character? Is that just me, or are you guys doing that? Are you guys typing that?
I brought you a gift.
Give me a minute, homie. Sage made apple. Shit. I thought I would remember, but I don't remember.
They're apple crepes.
Apple crepes. That's it. Crepes. Apple turkey and cheese crepes. Amazing. Thank you, dude. Yes, because I it's taken me a long time to learn this, but when I eat, I can't talk on the live stream. I'll like take a bite of something and I'll go, ah, shit. I'll have to eat it real fast.
One. This one's the apple one. It's a little messier because it's got...
Sick. Thank you, dude.
It,
thank you. I will eat these in 45 minutes.
Let me know what you think.
I will. Thank you, dude. Off access says I don't see that on our end. Okay, so it's just something weird on my side. License to Drive says hands up who's not a Chinese bot. Nice. All right, let me hit get mail one more time, and then cool, we're good to go. My dad's age, Atreides, is what we're guessing. Here we go. We're gonna submit this, and somebody's gonna win some fun stuff. Shout out to Weebleed and Tiny Woo. We'll go full screen. We'll get the goat ready, and away we go. FizzPV is hanging in on the bottom there. Atreides is on the far right. Dagool is on the top. He just got blown away. Bry is top dead center. He's hanging in. The Duke is off on the left. Doc Holliday is on the very bottom left. Doc Holliday's gone. It's Fizz and Atreides. 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 It's FizzPV. FizzPV also has made the intro and outro songs, which are just still make me laugh every single time. Congrats, Fizz. I should have your... Why won't this go smaller? There it goes. I've got your info in Patreon. Let me just make sure. Make sure I have your address in there. Audience. Come on. Hair, get off the keyboard. Oh my god. Get out of there. Hold on. Everything must stop. There we go. I'm actually going to hit the button right now to make this print. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go to Etsy and print out a label for the most recent order. Look at all this stuff on my Etsy store. Look at all these frames that I just recently put up. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at this motor plug contact enhancer. You want 4 to 6% minimum more power to get through your motor plugs, you just get this and you just put it on the motor plugs. Look at that. Look at that blue newbie drone canopy. Oh my god. Look, some Gemfan 2023 props. Holy hell. Oh my god, some 2216 propellers. Who needs them? Somebody. Look at these newbie drone motors. These are almost gone. I don't have any more of the JST versions of these. I just have, beautiful. It says sold out now. Amazing. I might have the stock wrong on this for the record. Real crackerjack operation I got going on here. So let me go to here and there and all right. So we got FizzPV printing out and go. And then Evan ordered a Tiny Whoop display stand. I'm going to print Evan's label out right now. That's actually really nice because I have one of those sitting right over here. All right. And print label. I'll flip it and there we go. Cool. Thanks to all that played. We'll do another giveaway, I don't know, Wednesday? We'll do another one on Wednesday. I have the propellers. I don't have any more of those antennas to give away, but I do have another pack of those propellers, another one of those lanyards, and another one of those Anoyatrons. So yeah, we'll do another quick giveaway, I think, on Whoop Wednesday this week. Thank you to Weebleed for this shirt. The material that this shirt is made of is thick as shit. This is like the most high quality, like warm short sleeve t-shirt I think I've ever put on my strangely lanky body. So yeah. Thank you, Weebleed, for being a massive supporter over the years. I have an affiliate link to Weebleed, so if you want them to know that you found out about them from me, make sure you click that affiliate link. That's one of the other kind of cool things about the affiliate links that I didn't necessarily totally think through until recently. It tells that, like, you could almost think of it like, oh, well, the company can't be happy about that, right? They got to give, like, a small percentage of the order to the person. But, like, no, it's actually a real good thing because it means that you're talking about that company, right? And so, like, the more people that click these affiliate links, the more stuff that these companies are going to want to, like, sponsor me with and send over, right? So, like, Beta FPV, for example. If lots and lots and lots of you use my Beta FPV affiliate link, I'll go up in their system as one of the people that's talking more about their stuff and sending more people to their website. And then they'll want to send me more stuff, right? Then maybe they'll send me some of their bind and flies and stuff like that. So, like, if you're ever doing an order on Beta FPV's website, make sure that you use my affiliate link. You can also use the notes, the notes fields and type, like, CiottiFPV sent me. That's always incredibly helpful, especially on websites that don't have affiliate programs, right? But, yeah. I always feel like I have to write something in that notes field. It always feels good to throw something in there. Let me copy this tracking number and paste it into Etsy real quick. Complete order. Fizz, you're not getting a tracking number. The intro and outro songs aren't that good. Yes, they are. So look at this. Ready? Look. I'm shipping something out to someone, and they get a Propodial because I put one of these into every single order that I ship out. So Etsy or giveaways, I forgot to mention that on the giveaway. You're also getting a Propodial, Fizz. Congratulations. Yeah, every single thing that I ship out, here's Fizz's envelope, is going to get both this little bag of stuff that we just talked about, but it's also going to get a prop. Actually, I'm going to send them a Proptopussy because I have a bunch of extra of them, and I just wanted an excuse to say Proptopussy, to be really honest with you. And there we have it. Fizz, do you have any Etsy stuff waiting that I can combine here? No. Okay, good. All right. Denzel says, "Uh-oh, don't let CiottiFPV near Bean's wife." Why? AleTop1GG says, "What's up? How's the Indestructible whoop?" It's indestructible, brother. You know it's good because it won't break. For the record, I'm calling it the Indestructible whoop, very much tongue in cheek. I will absolutely break it at some point. Everything is breakable. It's just shocking how much abuse this thing will be able to take. Because I've tested all of the individual pieces quite a bit, and they are as close to indestructible as I've ever seen. The one big thing that breaks the most often, not breaks, but bends, is the motor shafts. And so going to a 1.5mm motor shaft with good propellers is kind of a game changer, and that's why we're ripping this thing around quite a bit lately. Off Axis says, "Can you give the event a shout out to your viewers? I posted about it in events on the Discord. FPV the City Vancouver 3rd annual. Please and thanks." Yeah, go over to my Discord. It's linked on CiottiFPV.com. Go into the events text channel, and yeah, FPV the City Vancouver is in there. Should be a super cool event if you're towards the Canada. Also, this a week from right now, really, is Sloss Drone Derby in I almost said Arkansas, in Alabama, right over the border from here in Georgia. So yeah, if you're in like the southeastern U.S., this coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday is an event at a crazy location. Holy shit. Just look up Sloss, SLOSS drone on YouTube, and you'll see videos from last year, the year before. It's a crazy location. I'm going to try really hard to get there on this coming Saturday. So I should be there for the majority of the day on Saturday. I'm bringing a big box of stuff. If there's anything on my Etsy store that you want to buy, you can buy it from me in person. There'll be extra stuff in there that's not listed on the Etsy store yet. Yeah, come on out. Okay. Got that going. Got that going. Let's fly a couple more batteries, friends. I got to end this live stream exactly at 5 because I got to get a snack and get out the door for... I'm teaching again tonight. We are relaunching our local... it is now West Coast Swing specific or modern swing classes at our local bar. This is... it's the local bar that Maggie and I met at. And... I'm very happy to have her coming with me to help me teach tonight. It's always really, really nice when she comes out dancing with me. All right, friends, here we go. More indestructible whooping. Hey, okay, what was that? So let's fly with as little corrections as possible. What that means is when I start turning right, I'm going to keep turning right. Hey, and I'm going to fly with the throttle a lot. So you're going to see the right stick go pretty quiet, and you're going to see the throttle moving all over the place. Hey. This is one of the best ways to learn to fly smooth, but it creates a lot of crashes. So I'm going to put right roll in, and I'm going to leave it. And now I'm going to put left roll in, and I'm going to leave it. And I'm just going to fly with the throttle. So you try to just move the pitch, roll, and yaw the minimum that you can. And when you move it somewhere, you commit, and you leave it there. And you can add, you kind of try to add one axis at a time. No, no, no! Oh man, it's all the way down there. He's been chosen. The claw. Fizz says all good. If you haven't sealed it, can I possibly swap the purple micro V for a blue one? Nope. I already sealed it. And that's a longer length. That's a 60 millimeter in there that Jesse sent me. All right. Hey! Oh! Hey! Oh! Whoa! Oh, no. No. Oh, God. It's in the box. It's in the box. Oh, shit. So, when you fly like this, trying to make as few corrections as possible, you end up flying backwards and sideways quite a bit because you've committed to this, and now I got to kind of run that sideways. See that? And now I got to run this sideways. So it's also going to teach you to fly backwards and to fly sideways and to fly very smooth. But the big thing is you just don't, like, it stops you from flying around like this. Like, this looks awful. And like, it's one of the big reasons that I have no interest in getting into racing, because racing kind of like encourages this. And for a long time, I've tried to not do that. I've tried to make one input and then keep that input for as long as possible. So you put the sticks here, you know, a little bit of pitch forward, a little bit of roll left, and you leave them. And now you fly with the throttle, fly with the throttle, fly with the throttle, fly with the throttle. Maybe I make a change to yaw, but I try to keep these sticks quiet, and then I move it, and then I leave it, and I fly with the throttle, fly with the throttle, fly with the throttle. Maybe I make a roll change. Maybe I make just a roll change there, but you don't like constantly move these sticks around. You keep them as, yeah, like I say, quiet as possible. It's very, very, very hard to do. Fair warning. Let's do one more Weebleed 340 on this Indestructible build, and then we're going to swap over to the crazy G473 build that's a gram lighter and has 40,000 kV motors instead of these 30s. Stop it, Fat Shark. Stop it! Thank you. All right, let's go upstairs and do a full throttle rip, see what kind of RPM we get on 1219S propellers and 32,500 kV motors. So let's bring it over here, and that was a good one, yo. That was a really good one. And there's Teddy. Hello, buddy. 57,279. 57,000 kV. Chase me, you little jerk. Oh, the fan got me. Oh, my God. Oh, that was a hard hit. Let's try it again. Whoa. I'm having a hard time getting a full rim power loop going. Come on now. Hook a brother up. There we go. There's a decent one. Hey. Oh my God. I can't believe I just went between the wall and the... Oh, the gate. I was trying to Matty flip that around, but I did not do a very good job of it. I was trying to do one of these. Okay. All right. Well. Oh my God. What's happening? Oh, leave me. Oh, boy. Not a great Matty flip kind of day, apparently. We're getting there. We're getting there. No, no, no. Oh, my God. Woo! There we go. Come on. Is that so difficult? Okay, that's full throttle into the carpet. That's what that is. That's a miniature schnauzer right there. 20 pounds of nothing. Oh! Oh. 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 Get out of there. Oh, for fuck's sake. What the hell, dude? Get out of there! It won't get out of there. Teddy, why don't you help? Why don't you ever help things? Why do you just slobber all over the lenses and make the situation generally worse? All right, so there you go. There's a another 340 run through this build. Now I'm going to take the last 340 and put it through the 40,000 kV Crazy G 473 build. Different props. These are the HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3. Like I said, a gram less all up weight. And then these are the 40,000 kV 0702 Weebleed motors with 1mm shafts. You can get these nowadays though with 1.5 mil shafts. You just won't be able to run these propellers. So this is not a totally fair test because these are different props than the GemFan 1219s, but this is a build that I have sitting here, and let's see. Woo! Okay, that feels more powerful. Let's take a look. Oh boy, is it ever. We went from 57,000 to 63,000 kV. That's legit. Jesus. And it felt like it. It felt every bit of those 63,000 RPMs. Yeah. Significantly more power. Not nearly as durable, though. Hey! Oh, shitters. Oh! Jesus, this thing hauls. Okay. Yeah. Lot more power on the 40,000s. Arguably too much, though. Like, I always come back to those 32,500s, and I'm like, man, this is just enough, but not too much. See how I bounced up there? I'm used to the lower power motors. Wow, yeah, okay. This is a fresh set of the 40,000s. Oh, boy. When these guys have too much power, they are tough to fly. They're fun, but tough. Woo-hoo-hoo, buddy. Hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey. Guess I can get this heater out of here now that it's nice and warm again. Oh, I didn't quite make it. There we go. Hey, 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Lots more KV. I could run this battery down a little bit more. I'm pulling it early, but yeah, there you go. Whenever you look at these run times, make sure you look at the end battery voltage too, right? Sometimes I don't discharge these batteries all the way down. That matters quite a bit. Last but not least, I'm going to run 2 of these 280 mAh batteries. You know, I haven't weighed these 340s yet. Let's take a look at what they weigh compared to the lavas. So we've got a lava 280, which is obviously going to be lighter, 6.8 grams. We've got the lava 320, which is probably going to be the same weight, which is 8.1. And then the Weebleed 340s are, no, they are a little bit more, 8.3. So they are a little bit heavier. In theory, that's because they've got a little bit more milliamp in them. 340 versus 320, right? I've been really impressed so far with the Weebly 340s. They're not like brain melting. All of these batteries are really good. The one that I just pulled off of there, it's bounced back up to 3.75 volts. So it's, yeah, does not need to be put into storage mode. It's ready to go. Matter of fact, all 4 of these 340s that I just ran, 3.75, 3.75, 3.77, 3.72. So they've all bounced back up in voltage to basically storage voltage. Again, I could have easily run them for another 30 seconds or 45 seconds, but that's just hurting the batteries. Back to the Indestructible rig. Well, transmitter battery is demanding to be changed, so let's take care of that. Real quick like. Newborn says, throttle flying is similar to one-wheel powered go-karts, jamming the power dynamo. Jamming the dynamo, I love it. Yeah, the percent glyph says FPV because the percent is used in this font that Kelvin made as a part of the CiottiFPV logo. This needs to get charged. Oh my god, one of my favorite things about the ViFly Toothster is that you can charge your transmitter batteries with it. Someone didn't know that, and someone has been plugging their big boy charger in to charge their transmitter batteries, and I just blew their mind. I'm gonna plug this into the Toothster, and it's gonna take a while, but it's gonna charge it. Put it to 420 and hit the charge button and plug that in, and away we go. In like a day, that'll be charged. Let me get another transmitter battery here. Ah! All right. And we're going to fly these 280s that are a gram and a bit lighter. Ready? Go. Get in there. There we go. Okay. 280 on the Indestructible build with the lower KV motors. Because the crazy G473 build is chaos. Massive chaos. Fizz says all good. Eltop says, somehow I broke 3 Air 75 V2 canopies and frames in a week, and only 2 Air 1 canopies in like a year on a single Air 75. I've replaced everything now besides the canopy. Was it cold out? If it's cold out, the plastic frames and plastic canopies have a real hard time surviving. Transmitter just turned off. That's weird. Okay, what happens? What's that? What's going on? Did this QX7 just expire before my very eyes? If it did, I can't blame it. This is my old. I bought this 10 years ago. Nope, it's back. That was a little weird. I don't use this for any actual work. I just use this for flying around the house and out front. All right, here we go. 280 mAh battery. Little light fella. Oh, not quite. Ah! Here comes Tedwardo. Hey! What you gonna do, dog? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you got, dog? Whoa! Whoa, not so big now, are you, when them props are coming at you? Whoa! Those teeth. He's ferocious. What you got? Bring it. Bring it on. Whoa, I'll blow that fur around all day. Whoa! Whoa! Mr. Big Stuff. What you got, Mr. Big Stuff? You gonna bite it? I dare you. I dare you to bite it. Chase it. Chase it, you dog, you. I lost interest in him. He used to be so much fun, man. He would chase him around. Now he's just a lazy dog. Oh. Runtime will be really good on this battery because I just spent a bunch of time not idling, hovering, messing with Theodore Barksdale the Third. Woo! Let me try something. I want to try that. I want to try the Mega Power Loop, but going through the gate backwards. Like that! So it's a full flip, and then you end up going backwards the whole way. Let's see if I can do it again. Full flip. Nope. Didn't quite get the elevation. Let's try it one more time. Oh boy. Oh boy. One more time. Here we go. Ah, no. But yeah, it's just a full flip. Instead of looking where you're going when you're inverted, you're looking at where you came from. 2 minutes and 36 seconds from a little 280. Really impressive. The Lava V2 batteries that I'm most impressed with are these 280s. They're just awesome. Like, they're legitimately, like, you can feel how much lighter they are in the air, and then the runtime is really good. That one's bouncing back up to 3.7 already. So you get a really good amount of runtime, and it's lighter the entire way. He's thinking about going upstairs. Go up them stairs, dog. I'll chase you. Don't you worry. Look at him. Look at him. Look at this dog navigating the world. What a thing. Let's get this power loop locked in. Woo! Oh my god. Come on, bar cart power loop. What you got? Let's get it. And I'm doing the easy version of it, yo. The hard version of it is going all the way underneath. I don't know why this is so difficult. I think it might be like the ground effect of the air coming off the wall. Oh my god. I'm inside of a glass. I'm not going to get out. Oh, I got out. Oh my god. Come on. Well, alright. So right now, the past couple times, I've just done not enough of a throttle blip. Ah! I ain't gonna even get out of there. Oh my god. Oh my god! No way! Ah! Baby! Never say never! Oh! Alright, come on! Ah! Come on. Damn, dude! Yeah, I'm not throwing it back far enough, but I can't throw it really far back because it'll hit the studio, the old school studio lamp looking thing. It'll hit this. I gotta drop it down in this little gap here. So it's pretty technical. Great. Man, when I started to do, like the first few of these that I did a couple weeks ago, I nailed it. And I was like, yeah, this is a great trick. It's not hard to do. I can do it over and over again. Ever since then, I've had a real hard time. Wow. Wow. Sneak out of there. Yeah, there we go. Try one more time, and then that's it. Come on, damn it. Get it clean. Last chance. That was a little bit ugly, but I'll take it. I will take it. Look at that runtime, man. 2 minutes and 40... what is that? 50. 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Yeah. Lava V2 280s, man. If I buy batteries, these are what I'm buying from now on. The runtime is great. A significant weight savings. Yeah, they're just awesome. And man, the Indestructible Whoop flies so good. It's admittedly, this flies very familiar to me because these Weebleed 0702 32000s are the motors that I've kind of flown the most batteries with over the years. But still, it's not too much power, not too little power. It's like in this beautiful little place where in this space, and for me as a pilot, the way that I fly, they're just right, man. Just really, really, really good. Vanilla Wave says, is new Beta FPV 36,000 kV more powerful than Weebleed 40,000? Yes, by quite a bit. Weebleed, Tiny Whoop, and Happy Model motors, the kV is measured with a different voltage. Not a wrong voltage, just a different voltage. Between the motor manufacturers, you can't really compare the kVs. But what I will say is that Tiny Whoop, Weebleed, Happy Model are the most off. Beta FPV is pretty accurate. And then VCI, RC, and Power, Newbie Drone, they're sort of the other direction. Their kVs are kind of too low. That are stamped on the motors, and then the motors perform at a higher kV. So the Beta FPV 36,000s would be the equivalent of like a Weebleed, probably like 48,000 or maybe even 50,000. The Beta FPV 36s are kind of outdoor only, which doesn't make much sense because these are not good for outdoor flying. So those are kind of for super, super, super elite racers only. Or if you want to ruin a bunch of batteries, you're going to get like significantly less than 2 minutes of runtime from those Beta FPV 36,000s if you fly them hard outside. If you're not flying them hard, why bother, right? Like if you're not going to use that power, then you're just making the throttle resolution worse. Don't do that. So like if you've got those 36,000s and you're getting 4 minutes of runtime, you're just limping it around. And it's just worse to fly that way. Like if you're going to fly those mega powerful motors, use the power. If you use the power, you're going to get like minute and 30-second runtimes, which is, that's a bit silly if you ask me. Outdoor stuff is much better suited for 75 millimeter setups where you can drag around 450 or 480 mAh battery. Also outside where there's wind, the lightest weight rig is going to get the shit kicked out of it the worst by the wind. So the 1.6 inch prop rigs make a lot more sense outside. Matthew Wagner says, and inside those Beta FPV 36,000s are going to be almost unflyable unless you're one of the best pilots in the world. Matthew Wagner says, build a whoop in a glass jar like one of those ships, exclusively fly in there. That's kind of like what happens when it somehow miraculously goes through the hole in the bass drum. And I try to fly it to get it out of the bass drum. Zach is Doomed by the Bell says, have you noticed the Lava 2s are super soft? I have to reshape all my 480s almost every time I put them into the battery tray. I haven't noticed that yet, no. Although the only 480 sitting here is all wrinkled up. What they sometimes do with these batteries is they'll put a plastic or metal protector around the battery. They'll do a flat piece of metal that goes down here and then it wraps around and then it goes down here. One of the things that battery manufacturers will do to make their batteries lighter is they'll remove that protective piece of metal or plastic. And so maybe that's what Beta FPV did. Maybe they removed the protector so that they could then make the battery have a higher amount of milliamps, right? This is the size. Typically, this is the size of a 450, but but they say it's a 480. This is normally the size of a 260, but they say it's 280. And then 300, 320. So maybe that's what they've done to save a little bit of weight and give you better performance, and they've sacrificed a little bit of durability potentially. But I haven't noticed that. And I'm all caught up on chat. I'm going to end the live stream there so that I can go get some food. I'm starving. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern time. CiottiFPV.com to support me. If everybody does a little bit of something, then we can keep testing stuff. If you'd like to see me test the HD0 Gamma 45 amp AIO, you can do a super chat or you can do a PayPal. Just call it out in the super chat or in the PayPal. Say, this is for the HD0 Gamma 45 amp fund, and I'll get one of them and test them and see how it does. Thanks for hanging, people. Hope you had a good time. Gibbon has a question. Ask it tomorrow night at 10 or put it over on the Discord. We're hanging out. Be good friends. Here's some more of the open prop 2-inch 1202.5 11,000 kV 2S build, also known as the Max Frames M2. I did the build on the channel. Love you. Bye. See you guys tomorrow night.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy Spaghetti's fur flies and jet wash dreams, yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Bit fuzz and prop spin all tangled in place, yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, they zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Shotty's on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Shotty behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive. Teddy push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. Yeah, CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti. Barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, things zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends sing it loud. Yeah, Teddy Spaghetti and CiottiFPV always.